was a good time. At first I didn't really know what was going on because I had to like put on these like garbs, and then I don't know. I really didn't know what to expect, but it ended up being pretty fun.
The trip was so good with the unstable bus and everything. Like the roads are very unique in Ukraine. You don't see it like anywhere else in the world. And the city was actually very interesting, and like everything is wooden here and everything is so ancient, and like the fights were so exciting, so I'm glad that I could be here, and I'm also glad that we are going home because now I'm pretty hungry.
It was cool to visit the historical part of it, but I also like to just do some stuff and yeah, doing a bit crazy, being there as a warrior with the swords and with the shields, but it was fun to do.
Yeah, it was a really fun experience. To begin with, none of us knew what was going on. They just kind of came out, laid these garbs in front of us. They didn't speak English at all. We were like, what are we supposed to do? So we put them on, and they came out with a chainmail, and we were like, oh yeah.
So after this, I realized that I actually would love to be a knight. Like I didn't think so, but I think like my ancestors must have been like dwarven knights of a kind, maybe hobbits, I don't know, but like I feel like I belong in this city. Maybe deep down I'm actually Ukrainian, and I was building, you know, wooden castles back in my youth. I don't know, it's I feel at home here. It's good. Oh, that was completely ridiculous, but welcome back, guys. Why didn't you participate? Were there just no more weapons to give away?
No, there was no more weapons. I was going to just check on the dress and grab a staff and start flinging spells around.
Oh, you should have absolutely done that. That would have been beautiful.
I can't tell anyone I'm a mage, man.
No, you can't tell anyone you're a role player.
Oh, yeah.
That's what you can't do.
Yeah.
You can't do that. You can't do that.
You know, you revealed some interesting stuff, you know, your
Hobbit
passion,
ancestry.
yeah, Hobbit ancestry, your passion for castle building with wood. I mean, in the UK, we build our castles with stone. We know what's going on.
Oh, do you?
Oh,
okay.
yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly right. You all do things better, right?
Well, castle building for sure.
Okay. So that being said, guys, we've got 3 more matches today. We're headed over to the next one. It's going to be StanCifka versus Dog. These 2 players have already won a match today, both of them 3-0 against their respective opponents. So it's been, you know, it's a good start for them. We'll see if they can keep up the streak. One of them might be able to.
And these are the 2 players who are the most consistent right now, equally as consistent, 3-0s each. So I guess as things go, these are the 2 strongest players in the tournament right now, statistically. Yeah. So only one of them can be the strongest, right? So it's either going to be StanCifka or Dog.
Yeah, and both of these players are also looking to get a big tournament win. So again, the closer they get to it, the better they'll feel. They both want to win it just to get the title under their belt. So now that they're fighting off against each other, it's basically a battle for the tie. In effect, if they ever end up on the same score, then this win will determine basically who's going to be ahead. So we're going to be seeing a video of one of those 2 players right now, and you know, they'll share some thoughts. We'll be right back.
Well, do I feel famous? It's kind of difficult question. Like, there are obviously some people who are interested what I'm doing, like which tournament I'm attending, which decks I'm playing or whatever, but most of the time I just go out. I can talk to other people as a normal person, as a friend or as a stranger or whatever you call it. So obviously some people care about me, but it's not that we are celebrities or whatever. So it's kind of on level where I like it, that someone's taking care about me, like I'm interesting to someone, but it's not annoying or whatever. So it's very good balance at the moment, I would say. I think it's the fact that I can do what I like most of the time. Like, I really enjoy gaming, and I have a lot of friends who are playing games after the work, and like they have to work hard, and in their free time they can play computer games or whatever, and this is what I do for a living. So it's kind of a dream, to be honest, because you don't have to care about your boss who's like not nice to you in work or whatever. You can simply play your game you love and like improving in this, and then going to tournament, compete with the other players and make a living of this. That's great. Well, in some days it's difficult as well, because you have to practice when you don't want to. You have to play Face Hunter Handlock matchup a million times despite you don't like it from neither side or whatever. So it's basically like every other job. So there are things you like, there are things you don't, but in general I really like the lifestyle. I like traveling, I like meeting new people, and I also like making people happy, and I know that many people appreciate when I bring a new deck and they can like try it themselves or whatever. So I'm glad that I'm pro gamer. Sometimes you disappoint a lot of people who are rooting for you or who are, you know, wanted you to win, and then they ask, oh, why didn't you win? Like, it's a shame, like, aren't you good enough in the game, or what happened? Like, and especially in the card games, sometimes, you know, there's some RNG factor and you just cannot win every tournament. That's how the game works. And sometimes you are really unlucky and not doing well at the tournament, and you have to say, oh, it wasn't great or whatever, and they ask you, oh, you're not good enough or whatever. And it's somehow frustrating that sometimes you feel that you are really good in the game, but your results didn't show up, and you asking yourself, was it a coincidence? What is bad RNG, or did I prepare badly? Or you're asking a million questions, and sometimes you just came to conclusion that, you know, it didn't came your way, and you just have to try next time. So it's not nice every day, but most of the time it's great. When I was playing MTG, only thing we had to do was focusing on the game, like, because all the invites were based just on your results. You were collecting points, and then you were invited just because you had this amount of points, and if you had 1 point less, you wouldn't be invited. While in Hearthstone, it's a lot about building community, being known to your fans, to viewers, and it's the area which is completely new for me. I've never was used to it, and I kind of enjoy it, to be honest, but it's something completely new for me, and I don't have these kind of skills, and I'm still learning in this area, trying to improve, like how to communicate with the friends, with the fans, with, you know, how to do interviews, how to, like, you know, whatever is part of this, like how should I stream, how should I this. And like, I don't want to say I don't enjoy it. It's fun. It's something new. But what I'm really focused is to be good Hearthstone player, and that's what I believe. Like, when I go to tournament, I really want to be the best player and win. Like, it's not about I should make this contacts. I should, you know, focus how to do interview. It's not my first interest or whatever. Like, I just want to be a good player, and if I'm gonna be able to manage something else, it's great. But that's not my first, you know, interest or whatever. So that's it, and that's how it's gonna work. And I hope I will play good enough to earn these invites and this popularity just by playing, not because I'm gonna be good smiling or good looking or very entertaining on the stream. It's probably not how it's gonna work, but I hope I could be interesting the way I play the game. That's it.
All right, so StanCifka, very down to earth, right? A lot of work goes into being a pro Hearthstone player, at least from his perspective. Yeah.
It's not just about the game for him.
No.
As far as Hearthstone's concerned, from his Magic the Gathering background, he's learned it's all about points and statistics, but from Hearthstone's perspective, he believes it's more about being a personality and being likable and, you know, and being a good player. There's a lot more that goes into it, like the full package as a professional, really, I guess. That's the best way to put it.
It is a small family. The Hearthstone scene seems to be, the friendships are made and kept very easily. People don't tend to bash on each other too much. So yeah, definitely, like, positivity is kind of the word. For the Hearthstone community, that's what I look at.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, StanCifka's a very likable person. This is the second time I've met him, and I have had a lot of fun hanging out with him. I hung out with him at a bar with me, Ties, and a couple of other guys. We'd just like chilling out, chatting about esports and like the growth of the industry and stuff. It's really like great to chat to like-minded people.
Yeah, you can just like go after the tournament and just talk to him. He's really approachable. So we also have Dog as opponent, who's got I think his own video, if I'm not mistaken. He's going to share with you some of his innermost thoughts, and I hope you enjoy them.
Like, when I go to events, yeah, people come up to me and they're like, oh, I'm your fan, and like stuff like that, and that's really cool. It's like really awesome, but I still like just, I don't know, I'm a person playing Hearthstone, playing a card game. I don't think I'm famous. What did my parents think of my gaming career? They did not like it at first. They still don't like it. I I mean, it's not something that I consider like a full-time career yet. It's not something that I'm putting like everything in, because I'm still doing school and I'm going to graduate in 2 months. But then I'll probably take a year off, and they're not too happy about that. But I mean, they're fine with it as long as I'm not making this my sole focus. And I don't think I want to, but we'll see. You kind of have to get an understanding of what you should do for tournaments and things like that. I mostly just followed streams, and then I started my stream, and then from there I just did online tournaments. I qualified for Seat Story first. Yeah, I qualified for Seat Story, and that was my first LAN. And then I qualified for DreamHack immediately after. So I followed it a little bit just to get an idea of what to play, I guess. Yeah. Do I like doing interviews and media shoots? It's fine if I don't have to do much for them. If they're like pretty casual and I'm just being asked questions, I kind of like it. But if they're like really formal and like photo shoots, if I have to like, because sometimes they like make me put on makeup and stuff, and I'm just like, I don't want to do this. Like, just, you know, let's have a conversation. Let's not. For newcomers, you have to start streaming if you want to become kind of well known. I mean, of course, well known, but because all tournament organizers really care about is numbers. So if you're a good streamer or you get good numbers, then they'll invite you. You can also qualify for events. That's what I started out doing, and that's kind of like why I got recognized, because I was a good ladder player. And then I qualified for, you know, events out of thousands of people. I just gotta get lucky sometimes. But yeah, you just play events, try to stream. Eventually you'll break through.
So Doug is firing shots left and right like a machine gun. He's very down to earth. Very often when we talk, he says that, like, I ask him any questions, and sometimes he just says, "Oh, I'm just lucky. I just got lucky." Yes, there is luck, of course. I think everyone who watches and plays Hearthstone recognizes it, but he still does well, even when people get unlucky. Like when he gets unlucky, he still overall his average performance is way above what other people is.
It's interesting the different opinions on kind of their careers right now. StanCifka's very much, I'm a pro player, this is what I do.
Yeah.
My friends are 9 to 5, and Dog's like, this is what I'm doing for now. There may be something else for me in the future. Whereas StanCifka seems 100%, this is who I am.
He's involved, yeah. I think this is coming from his involvement in Magic the Gathering as well. Just investing time and energy and learning the game to become the best, really. That's what he's aiming for. So I think overall they have a very different approach, but they're both solid players. Dog, is going to be taking, as he said, 1 year off to focus on the game, which even though he says, oh, I'm just playing this casually, I'm just getting lucky, he does take it very seriously. It's obvious, just from taking a year off for the game, that says a lot.
And he's been rewarded recently signed into Liquid.
Right.
A big team in Hearthstone, some of the best players in the world in that team. So obviously they see enough merit in his dedication and his play that he could get picked up by those guys.
Yeah, so we're looking at the lineups here. We have StanCifka with the Druid, Warlock, Warrior, and Dog, Let It Live. He banned the Hunter. And StanCifka banned the Mage from Dog, and Dog is going to have...
No, see,
wait, now it changed again? Or was it always...
No, it's fine.
I'm so confused.
So
just say it.
So...
You know what, Aqua, that's your new job. Noxious doesn't know how to read these things. I just figured I'm going to let you do this.
All right, you guys can see it as it is on the screen. The banned classes for StanCifka is going to be Mage. I'm not surprised after we see what it did to...
Cypher earlier. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
And the Hunter is being banned by StanCifka, which is what he banned of Cyphers in the previous set. So he's staying consistent with his bans. Very interesting there.
I think the Mage is a very scary one for Dog. It's a big unknown, right? Freeze Mage, again, we were talking about it a little earlier, and we were talking about how it might come back and be very good. I think Dog's lineup is predicated upon not having Patron in his own lineup, and as a result of that, he's like a big weak spot, if there is no Patron in his lineup, would be something like Freeze Mage. So he doesn't want to run into that.
So the aggressive Paladin coming out here for the secret version for Dog versus the Handlock. Now this matchup can swing very heavily in the Paladin's favor if he can put enough pressure and get a massive Divine Favor off. And we see in Dog's hand he is sitting on that Divine Favor, which will play a big role in this game.
So Dog here with the opportunity, of course, to play the Knife Juggler. What's nice about getting it on curve here is that if the opponent wants to use Dark Bomb, then there's absolutely no way for him to life tap on the back of it. So I like that a lot. Whereas if you go for something fancy like Coin Muster to get it out early, which usually is not the most amazing play, you expose yourselves to some, a Moral Coil, let's say, that doesn't go right, or you're overextending into Hellfire.
Speaking of the Handlock, StanCifka is sitting on double Molten Argus against an aggressive deck.
Yeah, it will come in handy. The thing is, Dog probably knows enough to pace his damage out. It's a really big deal, like just understanding when you can actually afford to deal with the Molten Giant and when you can't. Sometimes he'll play around 1, not both of them. So, just knowing that you can handle a single 8/8 is the go sign very often. That's when you'll just go all in. So we'll see if Dog even opts to play Muster for Battle here, or if he wants to just coin out something.
A Shredder could have been an option. I think what Dog was considering before he immediately went to this was Hellfire.
Right,
Do I play around Hellfire? But I think he just wants to put that pressure on and maybe try and get a Divine Favor off, or maybe even save the coin for the Mysterious Challenger.
Yeah, StanCifka's looking at nothing right now. StanCifka, until the Molten Giants hit, for now, he's literally playing from behind. No way to deal with the board. He can go Ancient Watcher, Moral Coil, mitigate some of the damage, but if that's Avenged, then you're just putting more damage on the board. That's a really rough spot for StanCifka. But, the Moltens can swing this back in his favor.
I think he could just develop the Watcher here and maybe tap. I mean, tapping is pretty dangerous, but tapping is something that will draw him closer to that Molten Giant turn, which is going to be the big swing for him here, especially if Dog doesn't pack equality.
And now the question we have to ask is Minibot coin Divine Favor straight up better?
Minibot, you mill 2 from your hand there to take you down to 4. How many cards are in? Yeah, that
There's
seems
9. It's 5 card draws. Is that worth it, or do you expect to be able to get it anyway a bit later? All right, playing around Shadow Flame here. There's a good because if you go full face, you're exposed to Molten Giant. Whereas if you kill the Ancient Watcher, you're at least partially playing around something.
I quite like killing the Ancient Watcher here because you stop the Shadow Flame, like you said, but not only that, you don't hit him down. Otherwise, are you going to hit him down low enough to play Moltens? So what else are you going to do? So I think it is just probably the best line to play.
Yeah, we'll see what Dog aims to do. He seemed to be thinking a bit earlier about, how to play his Muster for Battle optimally. So again, he's considering all the possible outcomes. Being very patient and cautious.
Is he going to take him down to 16, maybe 15? No, leaves him at 16, so he can't play a Molten Giant.
Dog recognizes that he still can't deal with one, and StanCifka, again, nothing he really likes on this board. Basically, using a Moral Coil here would allow him to maybe find a Hellfire, and if Avenge buffs one of the other 1/1s, Hellfire would wipe the board, besides whatever comes out of the Shredder. He'd be in a rough spot, granted, but at least he'd have something. Right now, Lotheb is like the only card that does anything.
Yeah, stops that Blessing of Kings in his hand, stops the Divine Favor. So at least it locks him out, and he asks the Dog the question, are you still going to keep hitting me in the face, or are you going to just keep trading? So it just slows down Dog a little bit.
Yeah, Dog's going to have to understand what StanCifka's passive plays mean. Do they mean that he doesn't have a board wipe? What does it imply exactly?
3-2, not bad from Shredder.
Consistency is king, and Dog is not going to attack. He's going to wait until he can just get an insta-kill with a Blessing of Kings, is my assumption. Or maybe a buffed minion, that gives him, a little bit more damage from the Avenge that he's already got set up. StanCifka here, not in the best position.
He gets to set up a Mysterious Challenger next turn, which will give him a lot more leverage on the board, but not only more pressure on StanCifka, especially like you said with that Blessing of Kings, he might find an opportunity to just squeeze in that damage. Force going to come down.
That's actually a great card for StanCifka because he's not quite dead yet. Dog doesn't have a way to win the game immediately, at least not from what we can see, and so it's going to delay the lethal and possibly let those Molten Giants come out against Dog's will.
And Repentance in that Christmas tree there as well is going to hit a Molten Giant if he plays it first. He might have to play something else first just to bait it out. But again, he's not being hit into range. He's being left at a nice healthy 16 where he can't do anything.
So if Dog knows that the discount's been applied, the Molten Giant right now would cost 6 minus 1, so 5, right? Dog knows that. Now his question is, if I attack right now and I bring him down, to 15, does it change anything as far as the Sun Fury Protectors go? Not really. So technically Dog could have attacked here for 1 and usually been fine. It's only bad if there's a top deck, like a Molten Giant top deck, and this Sun Fury as well.
He needs to set up something. I mean, Repentance has got to hit something first.
Right.
And then he needs... I mean, he could play Void Caller,
Mortal Coil
itself, get the Mal'Ganis down, and then he could set up a taunt that way. But it looks like he's opted to Mortal Coil, just the 1/1 first.
Needs to find a Shadow Flame, is my guess. I mean, a really big minion, and he does find an 8/8, which is going to clear up everything barring the mini-bot. If the Avenge goes... Alright, it's only 9/8. So I think Giant Shadow Flame looks like a pretty clean option here.
Yeah, I totally agree. Very good pickup from the Mortal Coil there. It could have gone a lot worse.
Yeah, I mean, Twilight Drake would have been a devastating card, doing nothing effectively.
And the Repentance gets whiffed as well because the Shadow Flame is just going to kill the Giant anyway, so he does actually deal with a lot of these secrets very easily.
Alright, so what looked like a lost game for StanCifka, or at least one that he was going to play from behind, is not looking nearly as bad now. You know, Competitive Spirit's value is basically near null, and Dog needs to find 16 damage in a position like this. He's going to have to try to get the best Divine Favor he can to replenish his options.
Alright, so we're going to see a lot of secrets come down, I imagine. Maybe even a Muster.
I mean, Avenge, Muster, Noble Sack is already on the board.
Yeah, Noble Sack's still down.
I mean, does that mean you want to play Blessing of Kings instead? BGH would kill your bot, so that's a really big issue.
I wonder if he has any quality. I think that'll be a big way that Dog could win going forward.
You don't see that very often.
No, not in the aggressive version at least.
Dog does not attack. Again, forcing his opponent not to get the Moltens that he's looking for. Dog wants to put up some kind of lethal on the board before he goes in for the kill. Wants to make sure that he just one-shots his opponent. One big blast of damage.
What does he have? Blessing of Kings and Conk and Abusive. So with 9 mana, he has 8 damage of Burst, which is not too bad.
Yeah, the Boombots could play a big role for either player, really.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's one thing that Dog has right now. It's kind of a wild card. You don't know how much damage is lying in those cards. Anything could happen. Dr. Boom is known for its volatility, so...
Another secret came down as well, so StanCifka's got to figure out, is that another Repentance?
If I play Lord Draxus, you know, am I dead? Yeah, probably. If you play Lord Draxus into Repentance, you're pretty dead. I think StanCifka is just going to play maybe the Void Caller here. It looks like a pretty cool card to play. There's very little reason not to.
Oh, no, Mortal Coil.
Does let him play anything he wants. He won't play around Repentance. He's already seen one. Knows that most lists just run the single. And now, Dog gets to speak.
So some of the threats of StanCifka have come down. 1 Giant.
Yeah. And the good thing is, because they haven't come down both at the same time, what that means is you're able to deal with the damage in like short bursts. StanCifka may have been playing a bit cautiously, you know, not waiting. He expects Dog not to give him the double Molten. So he's going to take them one at a time. He's going to play them as really big bombs. It's the only way he's going to get them out. Dog seems, I mean, he's got the way to deal with the Giant at the very least, but it's going to leave him with very few options as follow-ups. So we'll see.
Yeah, like you said, he can split the damage out and deal and use his resources over time rather than have to kind of pile all his resources at once, where you might have not have enough mana or any other issues that come up.
You're forcing him off tempo. Instead of getting one good turn for board clears, he's getting really no good turns for pretty much anything. It's a good clear. I mean, he will get the board clear, but it's going to be costly.
He does have Dr. Boom sitting in the back as well, though. But like you said, that could play in his favor or out of his favor. But when StanCifka's down to 11 life, I mean, you kind of have to go for it. You have to go for it now.
All right, so Molten Giant, Jiraxis, and Mortal Coil. Looks like a pretty cool turn. Then again, you do what you want.
So if the Avenge does come down, the weapon will answer that, which is great. He gets the 8/8 as well. And Dog won't have a board, and he'll have to rebuild from scratch. And then he has to deal with the 6/6 Infernals that come
out every single turn. We'll see if StanCifka just opts for maybe a more, I wouldn't say, you know, greedy, but rather a slower play. Definitely the way to look at it. It's still perfect.
The Argus comes down, so one taunt wall was dealt with, and now Dog has another to answer.
Yeah, we know there's a noble sacrifice, but again, it's not going to stop anything good. StanCifka eating banana, just casually, you know.
Just empowered by Mukla's bananas. +1/+1 to his mental agility.
So basically Mukla's the mentor.
He is.
Oh, he's Mukla's champion.
He is
That's what
Mukla's
he
champion.
is. I get it now.
The real Mukla's champion.
Oh, man.
In the flesh. Oh, he wants some more.
Ah, there we go.
+1/+1 wasn't enough. +2/+2. See, he wasn't writing, but now he's writing.
No, yeah, definitely. I think the potassium is definitely something to consider. Hey, it's better than sodium in Hearthstone.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
This is so tough for Dog.
And Dog gets decent hits. Nothing stellar. He's going to force StanCifka to divide his minions' damage output. So we're looking at 13 damage guaranteed if he triggers the Noble Sacrifice with the 2/2. And now he's only needing 6 more, which he would be able to get if he could play the Dark Bomb. But Lotheb fell down, so he can't go Jirax's Dark Bomb for the lethal. In fact, he's just going to have to wait a tiny bit longer.
Where'd you go from here?
I don't mind Mal'Ganis.
Yeah, Mal'Ganis seems
It's
okay.
kind of hard to misplay past this point. Alright.
Noble Sack comes down.
And
Juggle gets a good hit there. Well, for StanCifka at least.
yeah, of course. And Avenge will go on the 2/1, which is good for Dog because it splits the damage he's got. And now StanCifka is in a bit of a problematic situation. That 5/3 challenges the Giant directly.
See,
There's
back
definitely
in-
room for misplays. Definitely room for misplays. I call that a bit too early. Void Caller with Healbot, very safe play.
Yeah, it takes him far out of reach now. And like, it feels like all of Dog's work has just gone.
That 9/5 here killing the 1/2, it's basically protecting the 4/1, forcing something else to smash itself into it, which I really like. It's a play that you wouldn't necessarily expect every single time, but StanCifka, I was telling you about this, he's a very slow, methodical player. So he just eliminates the options one by one, and he grinds the opponents down.
StanCifka is so far ahead with his hand as well, especially if even if a Jiraxxus comes out of this Void Caller now, he gets to taunt it up. And
Right.
with no equality, or even a silence perhaps, sometimes these Secret Paladins don't run the silence. It'd be so hard for him to punch through that. It may just be, he may just lose.
Now Mal'Ganis is out, there is no Consecration. So I imagine we're going to see Dr. Boom with the Secret Keeper and Noble Sacrifice.
Oh man.
That's a pretty big board though to deal with. And right now StanCifka still doesn't have lethal. Actually wait, he might have lethal. So you get Jirax's Dark Bomb. Yeah, you've got lethal. That's it. He's got it with a Dark Bomb and the weapon from Jirax's.
Oh yeah, for sure. That is lethal. Just hits with the 5/6 into the face.
Yep.
Gets down, and then Jiraxxus comes down.
Or you just attack with Jirax's. Pick your choice, really. He's got either the overkill, or he's more than fine. The optimal play is probably to attack with Jiraxxus because you don't take damage and you're protecting the 5/6.
Yeah, the immunity.
In the longer game, it would matter. In this one, not so much. Alright, so Stan is going to be taking the first game against Dog.
Very solid handlock play from
Definitely,
from
yeah.
there.
I liked it. It was very good to see. It didn't look like it was an amazing hand early either. It just kind of picked up from there.
I mean, Dog played exceptionally well as well. He played around Molten Giants for as long as he could, but StanCifka just had too many options, too many answers to what Dog had available to him, and eventually, like you said, in StanCifka's style, he just grinded him out.
Yeah, and the cool thing is, when you look at the Paladin deck now, equality isn't nearly as common as it used to be, and Secret Paladin has eliminated it. Some initial versions really wanted to try it out, but mostly you see Repentance now. It's kind of a proxy equality for most cases when you can control when it comes out against Handlock, but equality still has a very niche and potentially more powerful point in that deck.
Well, we were talking as how the meta might change with Patron disappearing, that Handlock might just fall off, and it might not be played as much. And perhaps Dog was reading that not a lot of people will play Handlock, and Equality is not a tech card that he would need. But StanCifka is the only Handlock player in the tournament so far.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
Dog's got plenty of opponents to play during the next 2 days. So if he was to say lose or win, I mean, I don't think it'll matter in the grand scheme of things because they're both 1-0 each.
1-0, yeah, exactly. So they could go, 1-1, 2-0. So overall, they'll still be okay. Dog now, whiffing on the one drop that he was looking for. He does have the egg with the power overwhelming, but StanCifka's got the ramp, and he's going to curve perfectly into shade with the Paladin Shredder. This is obviously probably the most important thing.
And Dog's hand looks like a zoo hand I usually get. Doomguard, double overwhelming, implosion.
It's pretty typical, yeah.
These implosions will find some value with the egg, but he needs more stuff to come down, and the Shredder will definitely be able to activate that.
I really like the way, Zoo is technically favored against Druid, but sometimes, Druid gets hands like these. Darnassus Aspirant helps them get the early game as well. Dog, I feel, with the start like this, is going to have a really tough match going forward. I just really like the way that Druid, even though it's trying to be in the metagame where Patron is omnipresent, you can still get away with running it anyway, right? Because it's going to win games against a very broad array of the metagame at any point.
Just the ramp and kind of the power the deck has out of a good power curve going into the late game, and it has a lot of burst from hand. It just has the capability to win anything, like you said. And Innovate is definitely one of those cards, and Wildgrove that helps them win these matchups. If they can get a good Innovate, say Dr. Boom, which they can't deal with, or they get a really strong curve. I mean, you've got Keeper of the Grove here, because Silence the Egg if he's really afraid of it.
I think that's usually the play you want to go for, because if that egg pops out of 4-4, your only answer is going to be a Wrath Hero Power, and that takes a lot of resources. I mean, it's 4 mana to just remove something that came out of a 2-drop. It doesn't feel good, ever, to let it do anything.
Yeah, I mean, the silence is really good there because, like you said, the 4-4 might put you too far behind. And you, like you said, you expend too many resources. I mean, it gets swiped really nicely, but swipe could find more value elsewhere.
I think oh my god, he top decks it. This is exactly what StanCifka needed here.
Wow, that is insane. Just finding that swipe off the top here, you can clear the whole board pretty much, apart from the egg. The egg, I mean, he could even Innovate Hero Power if he really wanted to clear the entire board.
I don't think he has to.
He doesn't have to.
Yeah, really, I don't think he needs to.
This is a big swing in StanCifka's favor here. But StanCifka is thinking, he's doing some maths here.
I mean, is there ever an argument for something else than the swipe in a position like this? I mean, this is the best swipe you're going to get technically, because otherwise Defensive Argus could put a kink in your plans if you're trying to keep that swipe and be very greedy about it.
Yeah, that's true. But it just lines up perfectly. And StanCifka, even after some thought, he probably thought, what else is going to go on? What else could I do now, or what could I do later? And swipe just seen, and he's thinking about the Innovate potential.
Maybe they're just unstealthing the shade to kill this, right? But it's some very marginal play. Innovate Hero Power or Wrath for Cycle is something I could see him doing.
So he did go for it. That's interesting. I did say a full board clear is an option, but
he took it.
Yeah, it was at the expense of an Innovate. Perhaps if you look at his hand, he can play everything he needs to play next turn.
Oh man, if Dr. Boom is gone, this is going to be unfortunate. And it is. Dog loses his only good follow-up to curve into the late game.
Shredder Wrath.
Oh man, perfect cure for StanCifka. I wonder how much he played around the idea of a Doomguard, having the Wrath with a Shredder. Did he consider the Doomguard would be coming out frequently here? If he did, then this is definitely an optimal play, and he even gets the Ancient of Lore for card draw.
It's looking so good for him. And it's talked about the Zoo. It's a good matchup, but StanCifka just had that good start, and he's just playing so well and finding the cards he needs when he wants them. And now Dog's going to fall behind, losing a Doomguard and a Dr. Boom, so a lot of his late game is disappearing.
Yeah, and StanCifka just picked up the second piece of his combo. He's just going to have to wait till turn 9 to pull it off. And then it's basically cruise control to victory. Dog's getting at least the opportunity to kill something.
Yeah, he can silence the Shredder, but
he can kill. I mean, he can play Owl with Abusive Sergeant and Defender. That's good. I mean, it's going to deny the Shredder drop. It's going to put down 2/2/2s, which are going to be taunted up. It's good enough, but over a long period of time, it might not save him. He's nowhere near where he needs to be as far as aggression goes.
And the Druid's just going to keep dropping higher value minions
every single turn.
Exactly. I mean, the problem is Dog had such a sluggish hand from the start. He didn't put any early pressure on StanCifka at all.
Yeah, that's pretty much textbook Druid ramping into Zoo and actually managing to deflect the aggression that they expect. It doesn't happen often, and that's why we usually say that Zoo is favored, but when starts like these occur from the Druid side, there's nothing they can do. So it's just...
But you have to point out StanCifka making some key decisions which locked Dog out. He silenced the egg, so power overwhelming for no value for it.
Definitely.
And then he innovated hero power at the last bit of the egg, just so power overwhelming couldn't do anything there. So he just locked out his hand.
Yeah, there's no way the Shade was going to die to anything but a crazy Implosion or a Doomguard. And the Implosion's not something that you'd expect a player to go for unless it's a Hail Mary, which you're okay with. If it's a Hail Mary and you lose to it, then, you know, so be it. It happens once in a while. But if it's Doomguard, then the fact that he had the Wrath and the Paladin Shredder was basically the perfect answer. So StanCifka just with a really good read and decision-making all through the game.
It's just clinical Druid play.
Yeah.
In a situation which we considered a bad matchup. And even now, I mean, he does have combo, but he can just keep fighting for board because he's just going to outvalue Dog's minions with his own. He's going to get bigger stuff like Ancient of War, Druid of the Claw. We've seen Dr. Boom go from the Doomguard, so Mal'Ganis is pretty much maybe the last threat he has.
Now, what is Dog looking for? Not this, that's for sure. That is absolutely not in the repertoire of cards he's looking for. Neither is this.
All right, he does get a clear here on the 5/5 with the 1/1, but again, it's just not looking great. He's shaking his head. This is just not enough.
Yeah, he might have to overwhelm the 2/3 is what he's thinking about. A little unfortunate if he has to, but well.
Doesn't even get the knife as well.
Yeah, now he's just gonna go face and hope that things work out. But he knows, Dog knows how Druid works. There's no way this is gonna fly. And now the Savage Roar with hero power is going to seal the game in the favor of StanCifka, playing very solid Hearthstone today. And we're looking at a 2-0 lead.
He is on form with his plays today. We've seen some exceptional stuff from StanCifka, and we've seen some great stuff from Dog so far, but StanCifka takes the edge. He's one game away from not only going 6-0, but being, well, the best player in the tournament statistically at the moment.
Yeah. With a 100% win rate if he wins the next game, that's going to be at least an accomplishment as far as the first day is concerned.
Yeah, and this is not his last game today as well. He does have a game right at the end of the of this day, so if he was to land another 3-0,
yeah, he's going to be fighting off against Kalento, right? If he goes 9-0 total, beating Kalento 3-0, that's a feat of strength.
Oh wow, Control Warrior. So StanCifka's Warrior was banned in the previous game by Cypher, so we had no idea. And now he's showing us this Control Warrior, which you've talked about in previous games, that he's been known for, you know, these grindy kind of matchups.
Yeah, definitely. And he's a very solid player at it too, because one of the things about StanCifka that I like is the way that he just dissect every single move. And, you know, Control Warrior here is an interesting choice to bring to the tournament because everybody expects Patron, everybody bans Warrior, and when they let Warrior go, they're thinking, oh, I can beat it because I've prepared against Patron, but it's not Patron. So even if they let it go, you're going to have, you know, the advantage of the surprise, being that you're playing Control.
Surprise, it's Control Warrior.
Yeah. Prepare your bed.
You're in for a long game. And though Paladin mid-range has had traditionally a good matchup against this most of the time. It has a lot of answers to its threats with Equality, Aldors, but this is a secret variation, the aggro version, and I must be honest, I don't really see Control Paladin versus aggro Secret Paladin that often.
I mean, I feel like overall Secret Paladin's always getting that extra early game edge. I mean, I feel like Patron's got the tools it needs to deal with those 1-1s, being that they can just AoE everything very easily. They've got a lot of ways to handle the shield. Control Warrior, on the other hand, doesn't. However, StanCifka, we've seen him with double brawl variants of Control Warrior. It's not infrequent from him. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw something like that, and that's going to give him, again, another tool to handle the Paladin.
Yeah, for sure. The Sealed Minibot is such a great card for Paladin, and it is going to let him put on some pressure. But Armor Smith, you know, a great card against the Paladin, being able to deal with the 1-1s, be able to ping off the shield quite easily and stick around. So
Dog's scribbling out pretty nicely, though. I mean, he's got the Knife Juggler he can play now. you know, he doesn't know that there's no Fiery War Axe, right? It's still a mystery. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. It wouldn't have been played in just against just a mini bot, so there's still a chance that StanCifka is holding it. But even though that's a possibility, you still have to just play the juggler. You're going to curve with a Cog Hammer, maybe get another Divine Shield on your mini bot. It's possible that you can just pile it off with this board.
He was hovering over the Armor Smith then with the mini bot. He was pretty much considering, well, I get a shield back from the Cog Hammer if I play Cog Hammer next turn.
Yeah.
But he decides to, well, I guess he could use his shield next turn, right?
And yeah, get another one right afterwards.
So he might as well just hold off a little bit and see what happens. So where do we go from here? I mean, Cruel Taskmaster onto the Armor Smith will clear the Knife Juggler, but the Shield's mini-bot with the shield does stick around, so he'll be able to trade into the Cruel Taskmaster for free. So it's a bit awkward for StanCifka. He might just be patient and shield block.
It's a bit of an awkward turn because no matter what you do, I feel like you're getting one-upped by the Paladin. You know, if you're playing around, say, Cog Hammer, which is a single copy of it, so you maybe would play less around it than something else, then maybe you'd consider trying to just kill off your Armor Smith onto the Knife Juggler. Or just, yeah, that's what I was going to say. He has the option of using Shield Slam. The problem with that is that he might need it later. So I was going to like point out that exact play. The problem with it is that when the Challenger comes out, which you know is there, then suddenly, unless you have an Execute by then, you're going to run into the problem of being able to deny the 6/6, potentially an 9/8. So you'll at least need a big game Hunter or Execute.
Well, it's a second Shield Slam, so we did find that.
Well, never mind. That's pretty convenient. That's really going to help him out in the future. But now, the mini bot.
It's awkward. Do you just swing the Death Spider there? It just feels a bit weak.
Yeah, the big drawback with that play, of course, is the fact that if you swing it and the Blessing of King comes out, you're still not out of the woods. I mean, you can swing at it again and then use the Cruel Task to finish it off, but you'll have expended so much of your health. However, if you think your health is still usable as a resource, it's a proper play.
Yeah, with Shield Block in hand, health is definitely a resource he can use now, but Shield Slam is a nice combo to clean something up, so he may want that for later, so he can guarantee that he can Shield block Shield Slam, say,
Challenger.
A Challenger or just something else that has a bit more value than the 2/2 right now.
Yeah, I mean, that's why it's pretty cool, because you can kill, you know, the mini-bot next turn pretty much no matter what, unless another Divine Shield somehow comes around. I'm liking that play from StanCifka. I think it's very straightforward, but it's playing around a lot of things. Now, Dog, again, he's considering the Kings. You know, I'm getting a 6/6, but I'm not developing a board. And is that a problem?
I like a board more than the Kings right now, because, like I said, plays in the Cruel Task. Of course, Dog doesn't really have enough information.
He can't know that at all. That's the big issue. And he might have thought that if Cruel Task was there, it might have been used with the Armor Smith to kill the Juggler early. We'll see. And, you know, good thing he didn't overextend here, because this brawl from StanCifka could have been a bit of an issue.
So his options here, he could shield block. Oh no, he can't shield block armor up shield.
Oh no, he's a little bit of mana off. He's going to have to go for the Cruel Task play that we mentioned earlier if he really wants to do it. I think it's an okay play. I mean, sure, the 2/2 does end up dying to the Cog Hammer, but you can armor up on the back of it and then wait.
Yeah, that's true. And shield block, shield slam will come in use later, and we have the brawl as well. So StanCifka still has a lot of removal coming up. And he's not too low, really, because Paladins can find it quite hard to find that little bit of damage to finish the game. And we saw that earlier with Cypher just missing 1 damage, and then he lost the next turn, so...
Yeah, just a little shy of damage, and that will happen very often, and against Control Warrior probably even more frequently than against other classes. Juggler, Secret Keeper, Noble Sacrifice, that's giving you... I mean, you're not being mana efficient, but you are... guaranteeing a 2/3 and a 3/2 on the board.
Yeah, developing some threats, keeping the pressure on, because that's what you're going to need to do until you drop Tyrion, or pick up a Mysterious Challenger next turn.
Yeah, Dog's considering being mana efficient and just going for the Hero Power Noble Sack instead. Yeah, I think there's a good argument for that too. It's just that when are you going to ever get the buffs on Secret Keeper ever again? You could go Secret Keeper or Hero Power, and that's also defend. Like, you could argue for that play.
Another thing with StanCifka as well, he hasn't had efficient ways to deal with his minions right now. He's had to kind of like go different routes, like attacking a shield to attack it again and then use the Cruel Task. So he hasn't had kind of streamlined removal. He's had to be a little bit creative with it. So maybe it's just an opportunity for Dog to take advantage of that and develop a stronger board.
Yeah, so StanCifka here might be looking at Slam, Cruel Task. The problem with that play is if it is Avenge, then you can't kill the Juggler. However, if you go for Slam on the Juggler and it is Avenge, then you can Shield Block, Shield Slam the 2-5. I mean the 5-5.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So it's really going to come down to whether or not StanCifka thinks this is Avenge. If it is, then he could play it safe.
It's a 50-50. It looks like he's going for the non-Avenge.
Yeah, he's going to assume it's not Avenge, and he's going to be rewarded for it. Gets a card draw. And, oh, that's a good one if Challenger comes up.
Unless he just ignores it, but I can't really see that being a thing.
Let him overextend and brawl him out.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's an old Chinese tactic.
And there we go, Cruel Task making come down. He's looking for the Avenge, and it's not there.
He's breathing a sigh of relief.
He can reward himself with a piece of banana.
Oh, man.
For the correct
Yeah,
guess.
classic science. Oh, the muster for Battle for Dog. Definitely something you want to see here, though. StanCifka has the brawl, but it doesn't feel like a good brawl. I mean, it is a brawl you might be willing to take, but it's not one that you're overly happy about.
All the knives.
It's not over. You better believe.
Oh, what? All missed.
Well, there's Noble Sacrifice. Who cares, right?
Yeah, but
You don't seem to believe in the Noble Sacrifice.
I mean, if you got Noble Sack down, Warrior's not going to play too much at once. You wanted to hit something chunky, not a little Cruel Taskmaster.
But it dies. I mean, technically, I guess you could have attacked it with your hero, so that the knife from the Noble Sack kills the 2/2.
Oh, that's
But you're
true.
still losing Noble Sack.
Yeah. Shield Maiden's not a bad pickup. He gets to sustain a little bit as well. I mean, he puts the Paladin again a little bit more out of reach. But he's definitely considered a brawl, I imagine.
Yeah, the problem with Brawl, of course, is you're not necessarily getting all the value you want. We'll see.
Knife comes down. Hits the face again.
Wow.
Just where you wanted it.
Now the Brawl comes out. This is, the type of play that I'm talking about. When StanCifka, I say he's a very, slow player. This is basically it. He just plays decks that have a lot of options for removal and takes his sweet time. Right now, with the amount of armor he's got in hand, unless Dog top decks at Dr. Boom or Mr. Challenger, StanCifka is going to be very far ahead.
The nice thing about that ball as well, the chances of it hitting a 1-1 was so high. It was just like, you might as well. He's going to get a 1-1 left. You get the armor up. He's only going to be able to chip away at your armor without extra cards like True Silver.
Yeah. Harrison Jones would be insane here for StanCifka, being able to deny the Tyrian Forgering's weapon because the amount of damage in that weapon is very big. You can't just assume that the weapon is going to be a very small amount. It's going to be potentially, without Harrison, upwards of 15 damage if no Belcher is found. That's a
Tyrion
lot.
comes down. Is your faith in the light right now?
My faith isn't so much in the light as much as it is in Dog's ability to not get Harrison Jones.
Oh, what's it going to be? It's another big game.
Oh, StanCifka already having used his 2 Cruel Taskmasters.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Yeah, they're
Good
gone. No more
activators.
combinations for StanCifka.
So double BGH in his Handlock, double BGH in his Warrior as well. Very interesting.
And now there's the option, of course, of going for the attack with Shield Maiden, lose it, and then Shield Slam. But that's got to feel horrible.
And his last Secret's Avenge.
You can kill a 1-1 at least with the War Axe, but
yeah.
it still hurts. I mean, what he really wants to do here is actually kill one of the 1-1s with Shield Slam, buff up the the Tyrian Forging with the Avenge, and then use BGH on it.
But it's such a risky play.
Yeah, it's a 50-50, but I don't know if it's worth it. You do get to keep your 5-5 though. It's a really big upside to an extent.
Oh man, that is such a risky turn. Is he gonna do it?
I don't think so. I don't think you're gonna want to do that. It's a play that I like just because it's risky, but I think you can do better than this if you just wait.
Like you said, he's a patient man.
He is. He definitely is. He's not a patron man, but definitely a patient one.
Consecration looks pretty nice here. You can clear up with the dudes then, leave the Tyrion around. And you can develop a Shredder as well.
Yeah, Secret Keeper even. Play everything, right?
I don't know if you want to play... I don't know. You
Why
see the
not?
Brawl, so why not?
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't expect 2. I know for a fact that StanCifka has played 2, but I don't know if it means that he always does. So Dog might be just playing around the single brawl, having seen it. It's fine, I can overextend here. I'm feeling pretty comfortable with my current position, and there's a chance the Warrior just lacks any comeback mechanism. Ouch, that hurts.
Tyrion sits in nice and healthy with the shield as well.
StanCifka needs to pick up another brawl, I guess. I'm not too sure. It's a little scary. Acolyte of Pain doing nothing. Hail Mary. He's going to get the BGH, though. That's exactly what he wants. He's going to get the Avenge on the Tyrion and Big Game Hunter.
Oh, yeah. That's a great play from him there.
Wow. And Dog sees the second BGH. You saw his face. It was like terror.
It's like, really? Another one? Come on, man.
You what, might. And now Dog, he needs 3 turns to win. And he's going to be a little short, even if he gets them. He's going to be 1 off lethal, assuming he gets every single Ashbringer hit to the face, and StanCifka armors up every turn.
I think this is what StanCifka's trying to work out now.
Yeah. See, that Secret Keeper being played here would have helped a lot, but Dog couldn't know there was going to be a second Big Game Hunter.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Helping his thought process then. Peels another banana. Mukla, empower me. For the maths.
Do we need more carbohydrates for the brain? That's the trick. Oh, StanCifka's only way to lose is actually to play this. Uh-oh. Now Dog has an opportunity to win. Oh!
Wow. Challenger off the top. What secrets are left, I wonder?
I don't even know. Does it matter?
6/6, yeah, it's going to be a big threat.
It's enough, right? You just kind of...
Has he used 2 noble sacks?
I've seen 1. I don't remember the first one being played at all. I think we're going to see just a Mystery Challenger with Secret Keeper and Hero Power.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's going to be a Noble Sack. I think there's a Redemption in that deck, a Repentance as well. I forget which secret he ended up cutting.
Secret Keeper. Most secretive man in... Oh, a full Christmas tree as well.
Yeah, I think he's got every single secret, but he was only running a single one of Repentance, yeah, that was Repentance, where Thijs was playing only a single copy of Redemption. And StanCifka, with the extra armor from the Justicar True Heart, is going to actually be able to stay out of range of Ashbringer, assuming somehow that he's able to execute off something really big. And he's going to have to.
He gets a draw as well, so Jessica there might be someone better than Jessica coming up. Sylvana, not as good as Jessica right now.
And this is good because it really concentrates all the stats into 1 minion, which you can then execute. But the amount of damage on the board with Competitive Spirit may still be too much.
Yeah, combined with the Ashbringer as well.
Yeah.
Super tough.
Exactly.
If he could armor up, Justica armor up again, he might have just been out of range.
Yeah, on top of execute, of course, but just a little shy. Need more Emperor Thorson in that deck.
Or more mana crystals. Let's bump it up to 12. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, let's play Druid. Sounds balanced.
I think he's trying to figure out if he can actually win here.
So you attack 9/8 and then you execute it and you play Justicar Hero Power and maybe you kill the 1/2 with your Hero Power to mitigate the damage, but you're still dead, and StanCifka is going to scoop it to Dog, who does get a win. I think this game was very well played by StanCifka despite the loss.
Yeah, he kind of knew everything that was going on.
Right.
I mean, even like the Shield Slam onto the Shredder to buff it, to Hero Power to use the Big Game Hunter, like little things like that. He obviously knows how well the Big Game Hunters interact with his Cruel Taskmasters and other parts of his deck. So he's very experienced running 2 of them, because it's not very common you see 2 of them in Control Warrior.
Right. I think it mostly stems from the fact that with Secret Paladin being around, we all know that BGH is one of the best ways to deal with it. Unfortunately, it doesn't always work out, but when you're stacking your deck in a way that you can use the BGHs with the Cruel Tasks as 2 copies of them, you're guaranteeing that at some point you'll get something done.
For sure. Another thing to consider as well with Cruel Taskmaster, it can even buff stuff like Ancient of Law, Ancient of War, so it does give him some more removal options as well if he was going to go up against a Druid. So it's quite a clever little inclusion by StanCifka there.
Let's see if Dog is able to pull off a win here with a Zoo versus Control Warrior. It's not an unwinnable matchup. He used to be favored. With Bash, I think this evens things out. I'm not sure if StanCifka is running them. We haven't seen it so far.
Oh, the Fiery War Axe.
Yeah, the double flame though.
Double flaming.
So you get a Fiery War Axe and I raise to you my pair of Flame Imps.
A nice raise there. Although he does have a lot of nice early game minions, Armor Smiths, Cruel Taskmasters, a Death Spike coming up as well. So it's looking pretty decent for Stan.
We're just missing a Cleave.
Yeah. Remember the good old days of Cleave?
Oh, the days were good. You know, when Zoo was trying to overwhelm me, you just went, you know what, never mind.
You like coin Imp Imp? I have a Cleave. I hope you like 6 damage to your face.
2 mana, deal 6 damage, kill 2 things. Discard 2 cards, basically. I liked it. It was good.
Oh, there we go. BJH shows himself again. Both those imps get taken out.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be pretty good against even the Zoo decks. Like the modern Zoo decks with Dr. Boom and Mal'Ganis, and even the Doom Guards you can buff up with Cruel Task. You can use BGH on them. Definitely a lot of cool things to do with it.
I mean, like you said, you've got the Mal'Ganis and Dr. Boom alone, which the Big Game Hunter can deal with. So a lot of targets there for the Big Game Hunter, even in an aggressive deck like Zoo. But his life is taking some heavy hits here. Already down to 17 on turn 4. Yeah,
what's nice though is that if you look at the way the next turn is going to pan out, the Creeper is likely to be to die first, which means the AoE from the Death Spite will take care of the spiders. Being that the spider was played first, the Death Rattle triggers first. So it's the one thing that's going to be in StanCifka's favor here. But we'll have to see how Dog uses his turn.
I like the Argus here. I was just thinking about the Void Caller. Void Caller is just not worth it because not only do you not get anything, but like you said, you leave your Haunted Creeper really open to being popped. But there's if he plays the Argus, at least he can wait to get some value from Void Caller. Or do you feel just Void Caller is better?
I don't even mind. Like, Defensive Argus is fine because you do threaten the Armor Smith in a way. I mean, you're still losing your 1/1s from the axe. I mean, it will smash itself into it, and the 1/1s will die. But you're mitigating the amount of kills it will get in this case, and you'll be able to get rid of the Armor Smith with the Argus no matter what happens. I think I like that. It's consistent with some board, some pressure that he can put down. Cruel Taskmaster, though.
Yeah, he's going to do some work. I mean, the Cruel Taskmaster had quite a good effect, considering how wonky StanCifka's removal was in the Paladin match.
Yeah.
So these Cruel Taskmasters seem to be pretty decent at the moment.
Yeah, they're instrumental to the way he plays. I mean, I wouldn't even be surprised if you went for a tempo Big Game Hunter here against the Zoo, because you go, Cruel Task on the 2/2, trade your Armor Smith away, play the BGH. What is Dog going to do?
For sure. I mean, this deck very much relies on minion interaction through having board. I mean, Implosion and Bane of Doom are 2 exceptions to that.
I guess you're right. I mean, Implosion is definitely something that would worry me. No, you have a point. That's definitely a card to consider.
Taskmaster.
Yeah, maybe Tempo BGH is just straight up worse than Armor Up in this case. I like it for the board that it gives you, but it's definitely not necessary if Implosion's on your mind.
And Implosion may be on his mind, or even Bane of Doom if he's running it, which can swing things either way. But this is quite nice. I mean, at the end of the day, now he has to develop something, and then the initiative goes back to StanCifka. He has the Cruel Taskmaster, and then he can just start sustaining with like Shield Maidens and other cards like that. And look at how passive that is for a Zoo player on turn 5, dropping an egg and tap in. Sylvanas is really nice here, I think, over Shield Maiden. Not in any threat of being taken out by the Zoo. Burst does not suddenly have a lot of... Ooh, Mal'Ganis.
Yeah, but Dog's got the Ironbeak Owl with the Abusive, with the Power Overwhelming. Dog has the answer to this, and he's even got the Void Caller if he wants it afterwards. So I think overall Dog is still in a favorable position over StanCifka, but he has to make sure that he gets this board and keeps it going forward. Warrior just needs to get to the late game, and then suddenly the threats just overwhelm you.
I mean, even on turn 8, which is coming up really soon, Grom can be used to trade.
Yeah.
And then it's a big threat that Dog has to deal with, which one of the strengths of Grom in this matchup.
Yeah, it's actually not that unlikely that we see it. I mean, I wouldn't mind here a Shield Maiden with Shield Slam to kill a 5/5. It's a really big body on the board that's threatening, and then you're able to kill the Nerubian that came out, and even trade with the Cruel Task. And then Dog, to respond to this, only has a Void Caller that StanCifka has to let be played. And with a BGH, is that even a problem?
Yeah, that's true. So he could even... Oh, he's going on the aggressive here. He's not afraid of these little 2/1s. He's forcing Dog to trade here. He's maybe saying, you know what, dog? I got Cruel Taskmasters. I'm a control warrior. Turn
Right.
10, you could get taken out. So putting the pressure on his health here. Maybe that's what StanCifka's playing towards now with the Grom in his hand. Just trying to find a quick lethal on 10. Or even 8 if he picks up a Death Spire.
I mean, it's a tempo play, right? You just attack face, you force Dog to make the trade. What could Dog do here that's going to be worse than what he's already got? I mean, the worst would be, you know, Power Overwhelming, played alongside Implosion to kill your Shield Maiden. It would have to be like a very specific set of cards.
I mean, the Control Warrior starts off playing reactive, hitting minions with weapons, but when stuff starts coming down like Shield Maiden, and he starts shield slamming and controlling the board, you can kind of throw the ball in the Zoo's court and say, yo, my minions are big.
Yeah, you've been life tapping all this time. I noticed that I haven't attacked you, yet your health is pretty low.
Yeah,
I
so
could probably just kill you if I just go face, and that's what StanCifka's doing. We'll see if Dog is able to get anything done with the Void Caller and Creeper.
another
He's got a
tap.
board.
Another tap, though.
Yeah, that makes the Void Caller a lot worse. Void Caller now possibly going to bring down a 1-drop if it dies.
So he can clear the Void Caller with Grom.
Yeah, but if Mal'Ganis comes out, then you're trading 1 for 1. Are you happy about that?
I don't think you'd be too bothered as a Control Warrior, because you've got maybe potentially Rag, Alex, Ysera, whatever.
Right.
Or Varian even, you know, if he likes that card. There's still, and even some of their mid-range minions are going to be really tough for Dog to punch through. Stuff like Sludge Belcher, another Shield Maiden.
Oh man, Dog is putting on the pressure, forcing... Uh-oh. Wait, that's got to be very good for Dog, right?
Implosion.
It's not that good. He does have to kill a Grom, and I'm not sure... I mean, Void Walker helps a lot, because it will tank the first hit. So even assuming you get Void Walker, Creeper, Implosion, Mal'Ganis comes out, like everything just goes crazy. You have to use the Void Walker first at least.
I'm interested to see if he, because he's hovering over. I don't think you can do this.
No, Dog! Oh my god, it worked out, but it might not have. Does he just want to tap for free? Oh, that's what he wanted to do. Goodness gracious, I was scared. Top decking a Doomguard here was actually a good way to handle this. It would have allowed him to trade into Grom immediately.
That actually worked out really well for him. It was a high risk, high reward play there. Cause
yeah, I
but
think I
BJH
understand now what he wants to do.
Comes down.
Yeah, Dog's still not out of this just yet.
And play Justica and just say, well, are you going to have enough damage if you can't keep the board to actually kill me if I'm gaining 4 health every turn?
And will you not life tap yourself to death?
Because you're doing it at the moment.
Yeah, StanCifka asking the tough questions. I'm not a philosopher, but I can answer that one.
I mean, armoring up doesn't seem really worth it. You're already at a nice amount of health. You're almost at full health just through armor alone. And once you put Justica down, you say, like I said, I can heal a lot over the next coming turns, and
So
you've got
I
finances.
think the reasoning he's got here is I can just get even more armor next turn by going, you know, armor up, Justicar, armor up. Why not?
Super patient.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's a
I
very
actually
patient
like that
player.
prefer. Another tap into Dark Bomb.
Whoa, that's a good card for him, though. Dog's got the ability to just empty his hand and wipe the board completely clean.
Oh.
This may have been a bit of a too patient play from StanCifka, because now I could see Dog take this game. There's a possibility if StanCifka whiffs. I mean, he doesn't have any more, you know, Grom Hellscream surprises. He's got a Brawl left. And if Dog gets a Doomguard top deck, for instance, now we're starting to talk about very, very different situation.
It will very much depend on what power Dog upon the board for his
Every
next
turn,
every turn.
exactly.
Because even if he just plays, let's say StanCifka whiffs his next draw with something that isn't too useful, he gains 6 health and puts a 6-3 down.
Yeah.
So Dog has to get rid of that 6-3 with some minions, with the Dart Bomb, whatever. But if StanCifka was to find a Barongeddon, which I saw in one of his mulligans, that could be really problematic for Dog.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time, basically, before StanCifka finds something that he wants to play to finish off his opponent. Barongeddon Brawl are still in there. The Armor Smith is not quite it, but I'd be happy here to play the Justicar True Heart. With the Armor Smith armor up, probably good enough.
Yep, gain a lot of health, and again, you're saying you need to kill my Justica because I'm going to kill you otherwise. So again, another thing Dog has to deal with.
Yeah, and funny enough, if Dog wants to start making trades against this board, which he will have to, just to stay alive, he's going to have to start making trades. It's going to be a bit clunky, because he has to lose a lot in order to get this Justicar off the board. Doomguard is Dog's absolute top deck. Dr. Boom as well. 2 cards that he's looking for.
Oh, Voidwalker, what a whiff.
Finds neither of them, but he's got a board at least, and he's not quite dead. Death's Bite looks very scary, though.
I just don't know how Dog can deal with this at the moment. He just has to keep making big minions, keep hoping for the best.
He's got to start. He's got to life tap into one of his big threats and dodge the Baron Get In, dodge the Dr. Boom. That's exactly what he needs to do right now. Playing around Brawl here if he keeps the spiders.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not, the biggest thing. It's 2/1/1s, but they might add up.
I think you have to trade here. I mean, you could rely on the Voidwalker kind of protecting you, but it's not a very good shield, little 1/3 demon.
Not for now. It's good for 1 turn, right? And then that's it. You're out.
But Dog also has to consider, can I actually kill him without pushing any more, without actually pushing any extra damage?
I don't know about that. I mean, he would have to really find Dr. Boom and Doomguard again. Back to those cards. It seems like they're the only outs that he's looking to find.
He does go for the trade regardless.
Yeah, he was considering trading the Creeper if the knife had hit that exact minion. Fiery War Axe actually putting Dog in a position to maybe just die straight up, because the Voidwalker being gone, now he can't life tap. Baron Get In's a lethal. We'll have to see what StanCifka pulls off, but Dog definitely has a chance here. To lose. He needs to find a taunt.
And another 4 health from that tank up, as it's been renamed through this Justicar.
Tank up. And there's nothing. Is there another defensive Argus left in Dog's deck? I have to assume so.
I think it would run 2. There's so many tokens in kind of the modern zoo that it would be wise. I think it'd be unwise not to run 2 Argus, because you just get the buff so much.
We've seen only the... Oh!
Speak of the devil.
Dog will have to be really careful with that execute, though. You do not want to taunt up something that's going to die to execute. So I wouldn't be surprised to see something like...
oh! Life tap. Wow.
This is looking good right now. The Juggler will be able to kill off the Armorsmith. The 6/6 is going to be able to go face. And now, I wouldn't say the only out, but the best out that StanCifka's got is a Baron Get In, I think.
Baron Get In would be incredible.
Yeah. You do get 4 health per turn.
Baron Get In off the top.
Oh my god!
Casters, you've done this twice now. You've called a card.
I need to stop doing this right now.
Wow.
This is what StanCifka was looking for. It's the inevitable lethal if Dog can deal with this. And now he's even able to not have... he doesn't have to use the execute on the 4/2. And that's going to force Dog to trade away the taunt, which he can't afford to do. He's going to have to do something with those 1/1s. Right now, it doesn't look possible. I think that's it. This is game right then and there. There's no way Dog can either win or trade without dying as a result of that play. So StanCifka with the top deck to rule them all. He could have been a brawl,
you called
though.
it once again. Are you channeling your power to StanCifka there? Baron Get In. I summon you from the Molten Core. I think another thing to consider, Dog doesn't know he has the execute, but he just taps anyway.
Oh, Implosion would have been so good in this position, but he would have still lost because the execute would have denied the taunt either way. But StanCifka is going to take it over Dog, and that's going to seal it, I think.
Putting those shoes back on.
Yeah,
he likes to get comfortable. He likes to get comfortable.
All right, so Dog casually walking off the stage. So StanCifka's practice and taking the game seriously seems to pay off.
Yeah, for sure. And we're going to find out what he thinks about that series.
Спасибо. So, congratulations again. We can speak again. And I have a few questions, of course. Dog finished online stage with almost no defeat. What did you expect before this match?
Yeah, he's a very good player, and I'm aware of his strength, so I expected a tough match, which came through. But yeah, I somehow managed to win, despite the matchups weren't that great. But I managed to draw very well, and his draw also weren't ideal, so managed to go through. So I'm pretty happy about it.
And he let you to pick a warrior. Why do you think he did that?
Well, my mage was very well positioned against his deck, so I completely understand it, and also I didn't reveal which kind of warrior I'm playing, so he probably also was very curious what my warrior is, so he also get these additional info, which is very valuable for him in the next stage.
Okay, and was your last match for today. Are you... Yes, today? Good luck with that. And are you satisfied with your performance so far?
Yeah, I'm quite satisfied. This match was very difficult, so I'm really happy that I made it through. I'm not sure whether I played correctly or not because some decisions are very close, but yeah, I'm quite satisfied with my play and with my performance.
Okay, congratulations again. And now we go back to our casters, of course.
All right, so StanCifka, he seems pretty happy with himself. He was saying that the freeze mage he had was very well positioned against Dog's lineup, which is exactly why we assumed Dog banned it. Must have been a really big surprise, though, when Dog realized that he was going to go up against that.
Another thing to consider as well, he did have the edge with not knowing what the warrior was.
Yeah.
So banning the freeze mage had to be done because it, like he said, lined up so well, but he didn't know what warrior to expect. So there was a lot of mysteries.
What's in it, right? Like, is there 2 brawls?
Is there Baron?
Yeah, right. Do I have to worry about board wipes like those that come in late game out of nowhere that I I'm not well equipped against? So I think StanCifka's lineup so far has been doing very well. I wonder how it's going to fare against the other participants, but based on the fact that most participants seem to have to share kind of a common pool of decks, I think overall StanCifka's lineup is looking glorious.
Yeah, it's looking really solid. That mage as well, I wanted to see more of it. It really impressed me in the previous game against Cypher.
That's good.
But he's actually statistically the best player in the tournament right now.
He is, and he's got a chance maybe to win up against Kalento in the last match of the day. We've got another match before that, if I'm not mistaken. We'll be taking a quick break before we move on to that last, I guess...
last before one.
Yeah, last before, I guess. Yeah, we'll be right back.
From east to west, heroes are sent.